Repeat view. Good afternoon. Welcome to the February 22nd, 2026 edition of O-Scale Central Online. I'm David Vaughn. Repeat viewers can probably recite from memory the introduction to this program, but new viewers, either live or on rebroadcast on YouTube, have not, so please indulge me and them. O-Scale 2 rail is a model railroad scale of 1/4 inch to the foot, 1:48 proportion. It runs on 2 rail track, just like the prototypes. OS2R is almost 8 times the mass of HO. The scale has detail you can see, mass you can feel, and satisfying models you can build. Although nominally the same scale as Lionel, O-Scale 2 rail trains are built to prototype proportions, operate in a prototype manner, and use, as I said, 2 rail track. O-Scale Central, which sponsors this program, is a nonprofit 501c3 tax-exempt membership corporation whose mission it is to promote 2 rail O-Scale and support modelers in the scale. We are National Model Railroad Association Special Interest Group, or SIG, for O-Scale. O-Scale Central has an information-filled website at oscalecentral.com. If you're new to the scale or just O-Scale curious, check out the website. There are introductory materials to give you an overview of the scale and help you to connect with resources to model it. We publish a monthly newsletter filled with interesting features about O-Scale 2 rail products, modelers, layouts, clinics, and news. O-Scale Central maintains an active outreach program to train shows, RPM meets, and NMRA conventions. We also sponsor this monthly online program using the Zoom platform. We bring in top manufacturers, importers, and newsmakers in the scale, present layout tours of quality layouts, short clinics, and news you can use. If you received an invitation to this program, it's either because you are a member of O-Scale Central, if so, we thank you very much, or you are on the O-Scale resource list of O-Scale modelers. And by the way, for those of you who might miss some of these programs or know other people that would like to view them, this program is being recorded and will be available on YouTube, either through our YouTube channel or directly through the O-Scale Central website. Again, the website is oscalecentral.com. Our scale is small in numbers, and because of that, operates largely below the radar without the kind of high-profile manufacturing support, advertising, and visibility enjoyed by other scales. But our community is tight-knit. We are supportive of each other and new O-Scale modelers. O-Scale Central and other organizations keep us on the move and building and re-energizing our scale. We provide this program, as well as our website, as a service to the scale. You need not be a member to use the website or to view this program. We think keeping the O-Scale community informed, educated, and cohesive is important, and so, as I said, we offer this as a service to the scale. That said, we hope you will see the benefit of what we do, enjoy the programs, and join O-Scale Central. Go to the website, oscalecentral.com, find the membership section, and follow the prompts. Your dues, which are a steal at $24 for the basic membership, make this program and our other activities possible. We generally start the program with news and announcements. I have a couple of those today. First, I want to flag for everybody that O-Scale West is coming up. It'll be in Mountain View, California on the 6th and 7th of March. This is a new program, a new venue, and a new set of dates. Rod Miller has done a great job of beginning the road back for O-Scale West. And I want to flag for you the website, oscalewest.com, to get information about the program. We hope you'll support it. The next program that's coming up that is important is the March meet in Chicago. And Tyler Cook has a briefing on that. And David Schultz may have an update to supplement what Tyler says. Tyler, unmute yourself and tell us what's going on. And if you need the screen share, please do.
Is it sharing for you, David?
There you go.
Say yes or no.
That's a yes.
All right. Sorry, my internet's been lagging a little bit this morning. So yeah, as David said, the O-Scale March meet is coming up on March 19th and 22nd. And for those who have been, you know how big and impressive of a show it is. And those who haven't, I highly encourage you to go. So there's a little presentation at Skylar Shippey, did most of the legwork to produce this. So there's a few big features of this meet that are unique to this, unlike a lot of the other meets. There's a operating session at Ted Schneff's layout, and there are reservations required to attend that. The details of that are on the March meet website. There's Illinois Railway Museum tours, just a short drive away from the hotel. There are other layout tours as well, some very great layouts in the Chicago area. On Friday evening, there's an O-Scale discussion and Proto 48 meetings. There's many clinics, and across a 2-day meet, there's several very good clinics lined up. There's the model contest. I'd highly encourage you to bring models to. There's a discounted hotel rate as well there at the Lombard in Chicago. And again, all that's available on the marchmeet.net website for the registration and specific information for time slots and meetings. The trading hall is open 2 days, Saturday and Sunday of the meet. It is one of the largest O-Scale trading halls, if not the largest annual meet. And having been there several times, I never leave without finding something that I don't need to take home with me. And then there will be a modular layout set up by Skylar Shippey. And so if you have trains that you don't often get to run or like to see run on a nice layout in a public setting, you can contact Skylar directly about what times our slots are available still. I don't know, Skylar, if they've filled up all the way or not. And then there's a couple O-Scale Central specific activities that we offer as well. There's the membership meeting at 4:15 if you're not a member or you're a member, we encourage you to go to learn more about O-Scale Central and what we have going on, what we're providing for the hobby. And then on Saturday night, there's the O-Scale evening social as well. That is a wonderful opportunity to talk with fellow O-Scalers about different projects going on, and there is a bar there for those interested. And our O-Scale table at the March meet is a great way. If you're involved with O-Scale Central, you do not have to be on the board of directors to volunteer for that table. And if you're interested in volunteering, talking about O-Scale with those attending the meet and promoting O-Scale Central, contact me and we'll get you worked into the time slots for that as well. And I apologize for how quickly I talk. I tend to be a very fast speaker.
All right. Thank you, Tyler. Really appreciate it. Tyler put his email there. Tyler is coordinating O-Scale Central's outreach program, which is our retail approach to the generally non-O-Scale world, as well as the support we provide to O-Scale two-rail shows. So thank you very much for the work that you're doing. And we've got both an update and supplement from David Schultz, who is on the committee for the meet. David, what can you add that's right from the horse's mouth on Chicago coming up?
Well, the only thing I can add is that the room block has been sold out, although they add more rooms as it goes along. The special rate that we have is only good till February 25th. Now, last year they extended that, but we haven't heard any noise about them extending it this year. So if you're really planning on staying at the hotel, get that room reservation in before the 25th. The price goes up after that unless they, let's say, there were only 4 tables left. There's 2 in the main room and 2 out in the foyer. So if you're thinking about getting a table, there's 4 tables left. Otherwise, everything else that Tyler talked about is right on. You can see the general schedules along with clinics and layouts all on the marchmeet.net webpage. That's all I've got to add, David. Thanks.
Super, thank you. And Eric Peterson, you've got your hand up.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention about the contest. We're using NMRA criteria for model comparison, and we will have NMRA qualified judges. And so NMRA members that are involved with the achievement program will be possible to earn merit awards. And we also would welcome anyone that wants to learn more about how model evaluation is done. And so contact me if you're interested.
Thank you. O-Scale Central is right involved in everything that happens at the Chicago March Meet. We not only have tables and offer an opportunity to join or renew your membership. We provide through Eric Peterson the judging for the model contest. We host the Saturday evening social, which is always a great place to show up. O-Scale is spoken there very widely, and we have a fun, relaxing evening. Skylar Shippey, who's going to be talking more about modular layouts, brings the Detroit Club's modular layout and displays it. If you have not seen a large modular layout operating, it's a really great opportunity. And I would emphasize, O-Scale thinks of ourselves as being a modeler scale. Bring your models, show them what you can do. It's really a great opportunity. All right. Skylar, anything to add on Chicago? I know we're going to be talking about the modular standards in just a few minutes.
Nothing specific to add to Chicago. I think everything's been covered thus far. Just looking forward to that weekend.
Thank you. All right, looking forward to the remainder of the program today. We have some neat segments. We are going to talk to Skylar Shippey, who's going to tell us about the new modular standards that O-Scale Central and NMRA have put together, and will give us some background on where O-Scale modular projects fit into what we're doing. As some of you know, one of the true professionals and artists in O-Scale is a guy named Terry Terrence, who did a whole series of videos of O-Scale two-rail layouts. Terry, alas, has passed on, but Ryan Scheuer is going to give us a bit of a thumbnail on Terry and a preview of what he will be talking about next month. And our third feature is going to be from Jay Escambia, and Jay is taking over Sunset from our friend Scott Mann. Scott and Sunset have been major contributors to O-Scale two-rail and followed us through some of the scale's darker times. And we are looking very much forward to Jay's presentation and with particular focus on the very ambitious and exciting catalog of upcoming projects that he has. We will have some time for announcements and good and welfare, but we should have more than enough to keep us busy for the program. Let me look. Help me out. Ryan Scheuer, are you on the call?
Yeah, I'm here, David.
Okay. Ryan, I'd like you to just give us a quick preview. We're going to do more, hopefully next month, about Terry and the heritage that he brings. But if you could just give us a short thumbnail of where he fits in and what you intend to tell us over the course of next month and maybe after that.
Sure. Um, a couple of years ago, David had asked me if I would be willing to help ensure that this was after Terry's passing, that his videos would be preserved. They were very well done, featured some beautiful two-rail O-scale layouts, and that's a project I've worked on intermittently in the last couple of years. Initially, downloading his full programs and making sure they were on the O-Scale Central YouTube page. But here recently, I've also been taking his 2016 and 2017 layout tour programs and dividing those up into individual segments and posting them on my own YouTube channel, of course, with giving Terry credit and pointing people to O-Scale Central. Terry was very influential in me switching from HO scale to two-rail O-Scale. I had stumbled on Terry's 2016 and 2017 programs back in 2020. I have always preferred O-Scale and never was satisfied just with what HO offered, even though I was well advanced on a layout and had a large brass collection. I just liked the heft and mass of O-Scale. And unfortunately, I'd heard some of the myths and um, wasn't really sure what was possible with two rail. And then I saw Terry's videos and talked to a couple friends of mine that were in two rail O-Scale. And I took the plunge. And even in starting a YouTube channel, I kind of see myself as a next generation of some of Terry's work in promoting two rail O-Scale to a greater audience, which has been really fantastic. The conversation, the different videos of my own layout and other friends' layouts has caused with other modelers. A lot of people didn't even know two rail existed. And in doing that, that's what led me to this latest project as a continuation of that work that David asked me to do with Terry's videos. I realized, there might be some people that are not going to sit down and they see a thumbnail that says a video is 2 hours long and they're willing to watch a 2 hour long video. But I started breaking out Terry's videos into individual segments because his individual layout tours ranged from 10 to 25 minutes. And I have been posting those. And I just started this about 2.5 weeks ago. Those videos have so far garnered over 65,000 views. A lot of people, again, just, oh my gosh, I didn't know this was possible in two rail. And it's also spurred them to watch other videos I've posted of, these are current videos of my own work and other two railers. And what's been neat in the last couple of years, quite a few HO and three rail modelers have made the plunge into two rail because of these videos. So it's an honor to not only help preserve Terry's legacy, but just to also kind of continue his mission of raising awareness for O-Scale two rail to the greater hobby. And, YouTube's a great platform for that. So that's kind of what I'm up to. Yes.
Terrific. If you haven't caught Terry's videos, go on YouTube, find them, and watch some. It will make the discussion that Ryan has next month uh, come to life for you. Terry was a really exceptional guy and did a great deal for the scale, and we are all in his debt if you're an active scale 2 rail modeler. But thank you very much, Ryan, for doing this. I know you are an especially busy guy, and as a minister, taking time on Sunday to come on the program is a special sacrifice. I'm sure you've got other things to do. So thank you very much for this preview. We will be coming back and giving more background on Terry Terrence's work and contributions to the scale. Thank you. All right. The area of modular railroading is not only something that has been growing greatly over the past few years as people get more mobile and more desirous of working with other groups and building friendships and modeling skills, but particularly for O-scale, which of course has to deal with the finger pointing of we take so much room. Modular layouts have particular importance. And Skylar Shippey, who is also O-scale Central's president and president of the Detroit Model Railroad Club, has been very active in developing these standards. And after a considerable amount of staff work by a number of people on the committee, he has now finalized and I think posted on the new standards. And Skylar is on the program for purposes of filling us in on those standards, figuring out how to connect, and leading us to what hopefully is going to be a real opportunity to expand the scale. Skylar.
Thank you, David. All right, the document that was produced by the modular committee is 20-some pages long. I will not go through the entire 20-some pages, so this is a condensed version. This is the O-scale modular standards, or is more well pronounced, the awesome standards. They are now published and ready for construction. So some basic specifications that was devised by the committee is a standard module length, meaning one module, the base length will be 4 feet. Or if you want to build a longer set of modules, the set of modules would result in a multiple of 4. So for example, if you want to haul 6-foot modules in the back of your pickup truck or something, as long as you build 2 of them, you result with a total of 12 feet, which is a multiple of 4. There's plenty of other examples, but that's probably the most popular one. The minimum radius would be 72 inches. This is decided simply because with 72 inches, you can run nearly everything. Track centers of 4.5 inches, again, for the same reason. If you have a big boy on the inner track and you have really nice passenger cars on the outside track, you don't want to hear that dreadful noise of the running board snicking the inside of the cars. Rail height to the floor, that was a pretty long discussion of figuring out the height. We decided that to be 48 inches. The rail code, we wanted to give some bit of choice. So we would have a minimum of 125 or a max of code 148. Another decision was the rail ends. Some other module systems have the ends stop short of the end of the module, and they would have filler pieces in between. With O-scale, it was much preferred to just take the rails to the ends, and you would have gaps cut towards the end of the module where you could move the rail a bit depending on the gap created. Another decision was the rail ends would be attached to circuit board ties. This means that you could manipulate the rails using a soldering iron for true precision accuracy. And the electrical connections would be used by Anderson power poles, which have successfully been used in the past. This image is included in these standards. So this is nothing specific here. It's just plugged out of that. The thickness of the plywood for the weight would be 1/4 inch thick. That way it removes a good amount of weight when you're carrying these things. The height of the end plate is going to be standard at 2.5 inches. We're standardizing this so that when you mate any modules together, when using a clamp, you can always use a clamp without one module being longer than the other and having issues by having to use like a deep clamp or a deep C clamp. The sides would be a minimum of 2.5 inches. That way it meets the end plates. But you can make these sides deeper depending on if you're using tortoises in between for turnout or crossing gates or something like that. Again, the rail height would be 48 inches from the floor to the rail. Support centers are doing 16-inch max for support and the like. The last thing would be the legs. The standards were conceived and adopted and decided within a year, nearly a year. And in that, we did not discuss legs because we knew it would be another year trying to decide that. So as long as you meet the height, and as long as you meet the adjustability, legs are to be designed by the builder. On to wiring. This was one of Eric Peterson's bigger contributions to the committee. The track buses will be 12 gauge stranded wire. The feeders will be a minimum of 16 gauge. This way we don't exactly specify that we would require 14 gauge. So we give the option for 16. To simplify the wiring, so you don't have wires going everywhere in any direction, we'll use barrier strips on each end of the module. And from those barrier strips, you would then produce the wires for the Anderson power poles. So on the bottom is a brief chart compared to what's in the standards. This is just to exemplify what was decided. The front main will be a red and black, and the inner main will be a yellow and a black for connection. And those are rail specific. Last thing on the wiring is we've decided to use the NCE system. And so UTPs will be used alongside with radio. NCE is a fantastic system. The only issue that we have with it is when there's two radio systems close together, one will certainly interfere with the other. And if you got two 4014 big boys on both layouts, only one guy's controlling both of them. Scenery is a very brief section in this because we're leaving everything up to the builder. We're not specifying anything of the scenery exactly. So this would be the fascia would be painted a semi-gloss black, preferably Rust-Oleum. That way the black is the same color whenever you walk around the constructed modular layout. The scenery below the tabletop is allowed. For example, this would be like a bridge scene. The bridge, the end of the rails of that tied to a module on either side, but then you have a deep cut in between in the middle, and that can go below the tabletop, which definitely make for some fantastic scenes, but of course take up a little bit more space. Another basic one is that all scenery must conform to track clearances. That's a bit of a given, but still need to be stated. And also skyboards are allowed to be used, but when using them, we understand that it will restrict sight and reach when you're operating from the inside of the layout. Operational requirements, some of these are kind of boilerplate. One would be the minimum weight of cars. We did 75% of the NMRA recommended practice. That way they're not specific to the NMRA recommended practice, but they're not too light to run on a modular setting. Wheel gauge and coupler height, of course, meet the recommended practice. All locomotives and cars should be electrically isolated. That's a given for DCC. Also, all locomotives have DCC decoders, doesn't matter which one. We have no provisions for DC operations in the standards that we're creating. I will point out, though, that the modular layout I will be bringing to Chicago does have a provision for DC operations, and if you have a DC locomotive you want to operate, feel free to reach out. Right-hand running will be considered normal. Of course, there may be exceptions, but that would be decided on whoever's coordinating the modular event. And the modules should be built to expect modern clearances. This means they should expect high cube box cars, 86-foot cars, auto racks, all that stuff, just so that everything that could be brought can be brought and can be operated. So where do you find the rest of the document? Well, on our website, we've created a tab that takes you straight to the PDF. And once you land on the landing page, there is the ability to download the document as well as view it for sure. But that would be, of course, on the website and in the middle of all of our tabs on the right-hand side. And number one question is how to get involved. Well, the first step is to build a module or a set of modules. And the only other step is to attend a modular meet or a train show, which could be any type of train show, as long as there's an O-scale modular meet coordinator. These events will be posted on our website, so that if you're local to an area where a coordinator is trying to set up an O-scale modular layout, that you'd be able to reach out to them and they'd be able to include you in the layout. And that's it.
Thank you, Skylar.
Thank you.
We may have some questions. We'll have a little bit of time for that, but I want to point out that modular initiatives are a lot more versatile than you might think. Just because you have your own layout doesn't mean you might not have a space in your modeling for a modular layout. Not only are modular layouts, modular groups useful for modelers who are still mobile and need to be able to move around, but modelers who have their own layouts may want to participate in modular initiatives because it enables you to connect with other modelers, to build skills, and to build relationships. And although you might not think of this immediately, people who are downsizing and may have had a layout, but who in the new condominium don't have space, might consider joining modular groups with a modular unit or two to keep your participation in the hobby alive. As we go through our modeling life, we realize that a lot of what we get out of the hobby is the relationships and the friendships that we build. And O-scale, being somewhat isolated because of our small numbers, has a real opportunity to help people make connections, and modular layouts are a great way to do it. So even if you think you don't have a space in your modeling for a modular participation, noodle through it and you may find that you have one. And the complete modular materials, including the parts that Skylar showed slides of, is available on the website. You can download it, you can use it. There is no restriction or charge or anything from doing it. Again, this is something that we think is important for the scale. I should say that I know the first joining of modules using these standards from two different sources took place last year at the Cleveland O-scale show, which Skylar coordinated. And although it's probably not quite as earth-shaking as the first message sent on the internet, this first connection turns out to be, we hope, the first of many years of people using the modular connections. If you're looking for an opportunity to see a large modular layout in operation, I would remind you that there will be one at the Chicago O-scale show, and I think there's going to be another modular display at the fall 2026 Cleveland show. And either now or later, Skylar can fill us in on that. All right.
Yes, that's the plan.
Thank you very much. And thanks. You have no idea how much work is involved building consensus, working through the details, and putting it all in a coherent report. So the committee that worked on this, which included, I know, Rich Randall and several other folks, really deserve credit for the contributions that they have made. So thanks, Skylar. Really appreciate it. Anything you need to add by way of follow-up, do it, and then we will move along.
Only follow up is we had a great committee. That's
Okay.
it.
Thank you. Any questions for Skylar? Comments on the initiatives that that they have just published? All right. Thank you very much. Our next segment is really particularly exciting for me, and I think probably for almost everybody in O-Scale 2-Rail. Over an extended period of time, Scott Mann and his father gifted us with numerous O-Scale 2-Rail projects, including being importers and doing a lot to establish relationships with the hobby in general, and being very responsive to the requests that modelers made and servicing the products that he produced. Scott has now retired, and he has handed over the reins of Sunset Models to Jay Escambia. And I have had some conversations with Jay. He comes highly recommended by Scott Mann. He has really approached this with a great deal of enthusiasm. And I want to introduce you to Jay as an individual as well as a businessman, but also to get from Jay his vision for O-Scale 2-Rail and Sunset's role in it, and give us a walk through the catalog that he has now published. So Jay Escambia, welcome to O-Scale Central. Why don't you tell us, start from the beginning, how'd you get started? How did you make the connection with Scott Mann? What do you see as the vision for the hobby? And show us that catalog and explain it.
Okay, sounds good. Yep, my name, as David said, my name's Jay Escamilla. I've been a lifelong model railroader since probably 3, 4 years old. And scrolling through, you guys seeing everybody here today, it's actually funny. One guy I saw has been there the entire ride with me since I was practically a toddler. Joe Barker from the San Leandro Club. He's been a great friend, great guy in O-Scale, and it was kind of cool seeing him part of the crowd today. But yeah, I've been an HO guy for 20-ish, 25 years, and kind of getting introduced to the world of O-Scale through working with Scott over the past 10 years, helping him sell off old inventory, assisting on some HO projects, has really kind of opened my eyes to what O-Scale is. And as I was talking to a couple friends last week, this time last year, I never really thought that I would say that I would be an O-Scaler, but I'm currently transitioning my collection to O-Scale, still trying to decide if it's 2 or 3 rail, but the decision will be made sometime soon. But regarding the vision of the company, I come at this from a very different approach than Scott has. I've assisted him in the background a lot with kind of social media marketing, kind of just getting out, talking to people, being candid, having a good time. And it's really paying off for us, where we were able to offer some models that I never thought we'd be able to, Scott never thought we'd be able to, and here we are doing some reruns, doing brand new diesels, brand new steam that we never would have thought we could have done. In addition to the factories being much more open to lower quantity projects. So that kind of being a big driving factor in this, where we can do series of mountains where we can offer 4 different roads, very, very different. They share a similar driver size, and that's all the factory needs, is that the drivers will be true to the model and the size, but they're okay doing maybe 25 or 30 of one type of mountain if I can get that number where it needs to be for the whole run. And kind of looking even more forward, I know we were pretty bold in this catalog with rolling stock because we've never really done a lot of rolling stock at Golden Gate Depot plastic freight car wise, but coming from HO, I see a really big need for certain things that haven't been done. I don't know what those things are. We're starting with those Boeing Skyboxes. We're starting with the 89-foot flats, but I'm very excited to see where that's going to go and where we can deliver you guys more prototypically accurate O-scale two-rail pieces of rolling stock at a hopefully affordable price out the door. So I can share my screen to get into the catalog. Let me see if I can do that. Oops. See if that's going to work. Can you guys see the screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Let me see. So yeah, Dave, where do you want me to start? Just kind of from the beginning and go from there, or?
Starting on page one and going through works. If you want to highlight things, great. If you have inside baseball comments and color commentary
Okay.
on particular projects, fill us in.
Okay, sounds good. I'll kind of touch on some highlights then of it. The schedule, as I thought we could keep really true to, the schedule's already kind of getting shuffled around, so I don't want to touch too much on that. But we'll move down. As you guys saw at York, we announced the next gen Acela. That was a really exciting announcement. Amtrak was thrilled we were doing it. We've had a really, really good feedback on it, and design is underway on the set, and we're expecting it to be here in probably 7 to 8 months. But one thing that I was actually really excited about to be able to offer was in HO, I have quite a few Southern Pacific RSD 4s and 5s, and Scott said he's always been getting requested to do an RS series. And so here we are, we're doing the RS 1s, 3s, RSD 4s, and 5s. And just like with the GP30s, SD40-2s, and everything else we do, the roads will be specific with the details. So we're not lacking anything there. I mean, we're doing what we can in our own production side to do the most as possible, but it's going to be a very, very robust offering of Alco RSs. And another one I'm really excited about, I model Amtrak, even though I typically model the SP transition era. I've got some P30CHs in HO I thought would be really, really cool to do an O scale. And we've gotten a bunch of requests for SDP40Fs, FP45s over the years. And talking with design, we figured out how to incorporate all three of these guys into one cohesive run. And regarding the RSs and these guys, the numbers are really, really strong. As I always say, of course, the three rail guys are driving the numbers hard, but from what I've noticed with previous runs in the past couple of years versus now, I think we're at about a 12 to 15% increase when it comes to two rail orders where we were about 2 years ago. So that's pretty exciting to see. And then we're doing the FTs again. It's been about 12, 15 years since we did these. Gotten a lot of requests for them, so we figured we toss them in the mix. And those numbers again are really strong. We're trying to figure out where to stick those in on the production side. Let's see. And then one little tidbit that I'm tossing in, hopefully we can hit numbers on it, is the SDF 40-2, which I only learned existed through talking to guys that wanted FP 45s in Santa Fe. I think it's going to be a really unique model. And I think one really exciting part is that I'm keeping our prices relatively where they were for the past 3, 4 years regarding diesels. I'm not trying to raise prices. I'm trying to keep everything somewhat affordable for all of our modelers. And if we move through the diesels, go into the current stuff that's open, GP30s are closing up in a couple months. Those guys are slated to go into production after the F7s. The F7s are starting up after the E8s, which I'm expecting are pilot samples for the E8s in about 2 weeks, since we're just ending Chinese New Year now. I'll bring them out to the March meet. Everybody can take a look. We'll get them on the track, see what people think. But yeah, after those, we're doing the GP30s. And then I'm thinking either the SD70 Aces or the GE-7 series. The Aces have kind of crept up number-wise out of nowhere, where from last catalog, the July catalog, they were kind of hovering around. I mean, well, they're above the FL9s, but they're hovering in second, third place after the Dash Sevens. But we're at a point with the Aces where we could have started yesterday. So they're slated to go into design after the Acela locomotive is done, since our design team is broken up in locomotive, passenger, and rolling stock. So they're slated, and I'm expecting them to start up after the Dash Sevens. So that's going to be sometime late this year. And another nod to Joe Barker, the EMD FL9s, I announced those in the summer catalog. They're back. The numbers are looking good, and I believe we're going to be running those with the FTs, just because the factory doesn't mind doing a couple cab units together. And another quick update on the Virginian EL3As. I did break the offering up where people can order individual locomotives now instead of the 3-unit set, to hopefully get those numbers up to where they need to be. And they're looking strong, so she's slated to be in the design queue as well. So just kind of scrolling through some of the current offerings in here, and then we'll be moving into Steam after the diesels. But the Steam offerings, I know we offered the Molly in the last catalog. It was a pretty big hit. The SP Pacifics, the Timken, the Four Aces, but I felt that this was a very bold offering, kind of hopping back across the pond into the UK, and the people are loving the Flying Scotsman. I'm gotten some orders from Europe. A lot of three rail guys are happy because when we did them the first time around, we only did 10 and three rail. So those guys are coming in. A lot of two rail guys. The numbers are really strong for it being a standalone Pacific. But moving into the mountains, these are kind of that where I learned that we can do more with the factory now just to get a whole solid number in, where we're doing Rio Grande, which I'm really excited for. We're doing C&O. We're doing Norfolk and Western K1s and K2As again. They were super popular when we did them the first time. And there will be one more mountain that we're going to be announcing at the O Scale March meet. I'm not going to say what it is yet. There might be some keys in the catalog to kind of give away to what it is, but the official announcement will be at the March meet in Chicago. And then rounding out the Steam offering, we're doing the SPGSs. Again, it was one where the factory said, we can do the Timkins, we can do the Northern Pacific A1s, we can do the Pocono, we can also do GSs. Yeah, so being an SP guy, I'm thrilled we're going to do fours. I'm really thrilled we're going to do fives if the numbers can hit. And for the catalog being out a little less than 2 months, the GS4s are well where they need to be, and the GS5s are slowly creeping up every day. And one little thing we tossed in to the SP Pacific run is we can also do the Florida East Coast Pacifics. So 148, a lot of you guys know. We're doing it. It's going to be cool. We're just trying to figure out when to start slating these projects, because the GSs, the Pacifics, they're pretty much neck and neck right now, numbers wise, where they can start. So our Steam docket right now is the Alleghenies just begun. We're going to go O scale mollies after that, HO mollies, and then either the GSs or the Pacifics, and then move to the mountains, and so on and so forth, what we have in the next catalog. And here I just kind of go over our standard features. One thing that I should have actually touched on a little bit ago was we are working with soundtracks with our 2 and 3 rail models, incorporating Bluenami and Tsunami 2 sounds. We're still keeping ESU lock sound. We love them. The ERR is still going to be standard in all of our 3 rail models. But the Bluenami, I like Bluenami. I've been a fan of soundtrack since I was 6, 7 years old. And I'm really excited to see what Blue Nami can do in both 2 and 3 rail, because I mean the application, it's really, I mean it's crazy what you can do with this stuff. But kind of rolling through these guys, it's the A3 Pacific, our Mountain Series. And then getting past those, we're into the GSs. And a fun little thing we're doing is we're actually doing the Amtrak patched 4449 that I had to get approval for because I didn't know it was Amtrak patched. And we all kind of had a good laugh when I went to Amtrak to the licensing board. And I said, no, you guys put your logo on 4449. So I need to get a steam engine approved. And then moving past there, let's see where we're at. Current Steam that we have open, of course, the O-scale mollies. One project that shocked both Scott and I when Scott gave me a little bit of rain with that catalog last summer. He was like, let's be hopeful, maybe they'll hit. And the numbers on this project, like he said he hasn't seen numbers like this on a Steam project, of a standalone Steam project, in probably 10 years. So I'm really excited for those guys. The Alleghenies, I posted some of the CAD design. The CAD is incredible. I mean, it's gonna rival Co's, it's gonna rival Fine Art. I mean, it's truly incredible what we're gonna be putting out with these Alleghenies. And then we have the SP, the P8s, P10s, 13s, and 14s. I'll be honest, the P13s have two reservations. Those guys are most likely going to get cut. I don't see us making numbers on the 13s. It was a bit of a fever dream. I have a couple P13s in HO, but I don't think we're going to be able to get them done in O scale. But the P14s will be something really cool. I mean, that's truly never been done before in O scale. And these guys ran with the Sunbeam, occasionally ran with the Hustler down south, and it'll be a cool little steam locomotive. And then the Timkins 4 Aces and the Northern Pacific A classes, same thing. They're GS4s and 5s, and they'll be in that project. So skipping through these, everything we just talked about. So on to passenger cars on the Golden Gate Depot side now. So I'm taking an approach where we're doing smaller sets. I still love my 9-car Lark, I mean the 8-car Broadway Limited, but it seems from what I've noticed, the market is shifting towards people wanting smaller, full train sets, and they want to just kind of try different roads. I mean, hence why we're doing the Central of Georgia Man o' War and Nancy Hanks. It's a 4 and 5 car set. You can get the add-ons. It's going to be interesting. The research has been fun working with some museums right now. And one that I'm really excited about is the Frisco 1522 excursion set. I know it's never been done in O scale properly. I don't think it's ever been done in O scale at all, mass produced, but the numbers are doing really well on these. And I think it's going to be a really unique set that we're getting out at a pretty affordable price. And then if we're shifting over to the modern side, we are doing the Siemens Mobility Venture cars. So what you guys have seen on maybe Via Rail, down on Brightline, we purposely did not announce Amtrak cars yet because the Amtrak docket is really full. So if like what we do with our catalogs now, how we'll announce something and then usually have a filler or two project and then following catalog to kind of get those numbers to where they need to be. Amtrak venture cars will be coming, but at a later date. And then a few more modern stuff for first run cars. We are doing transition Superliner dorms this time around. We're doing Pacific Parlor lounges exclusively for the Pacific Parlor, along with heritage baggage cars, both of the single door and double door. Just because I haven't personally, when I was looking to see if these even existed, I didn't find a good representation of any of these three in no scale. And rounding out more the modern stuff, we're doing the multi-level commute cars, which is a really heavy focus on the East Coast. So we're looking at New Jersey Transit, SEPTA, MARC. We're doing MTA, MBTA. It seems like the transit world, there's an unfilled void there right now. So we're starting to explore a bit more with our Commuter Classic series to see how we can fill that void for modelers. And on the next page, I call this a second call-ish because we did the Taurus coaches before. We're doing them again, this time in aluminum, just because to keep the cost down, because brass, we're not where we were 10 years ago, brass passenger car prices, but aluminum still cheaper than we did them in brass. And our factory can now pretty much get that level of detail that we were getting in brass because the interiors are brass and the underbodies will be, but in a much more affordable package, doing the bodies in aluminum. And with this one, we've done the Powhatan Arrow before, didn't do the Pocahontas, so I figured we'll do them both again because a lot of guys are asking for both. And the Powhatan Arrow, I advertised it as we're doing the full 5 car set at 19.99 for the full set. I just I wanted to get sets in under $2,000. That was the goal of this catalog for me, to get full sets in under $2,000. And then going through here, we have the Frisco 1522 excursion set where we're working with the society, working with the Transportation Museum in St. Louis on this. I really enjoy working with historical societies and railroads that still exist. It's a lot of fun because I model myself and I always feel like I learn something new every day. So it's always an honor to work with these organizations. And then still moving through the passenger cars. We should get into, yep, everything current. So the two that are coming up right now that are closing are going to be the New York Central 1938 and 1940 20th Century Limited and the Southern Pacific Lark, which originally was the 41, but I also added the 1956 version. And I did say on Facebook the other day, we will be doing extension cars like the chair coaches, the articulated chairs, a couple others that were added in 56, but this current run will be everything that ran up until 56, but with the post-war lettering. And those two sets will be closing at the end of this month with an estimated May arrival. Since factory finished up the Broadway and the Super Chief a couple weeks ago, and it's in transit to me now, it's somewhere in the Pacific, they've opened up and they're ready to do these. So another couple that we're closing up soon are going to be the Union Pacific Heritage Fleet. This project we announced at the March meet last year. It was actually over a few drinks on Friday night that Scott, myself, a couple other guys, we were chatting dinner, and it was a great idea to do. So I went upstairs and went to bed, woke up at 4:30 in the morning. I cranked out a flyer for the Heritage Fleet and the Lark and presented it to Scott, and he said, go for it, see what happens. So, and yeah, I wish we could have run it sooner, but the numbers that are just constantly coming in on that project, I mean, we're there where it could have started, I mean, 6, 7 months ago, but I don't want people to miss out on these that have been waiting because my plan with the UP cars is they have a huge fleet. Even if we're going back to the city trains, after this first big batch of, I think we're doing 10 or 11 different cars, sold in 8 car sets and a couple individuals as well. I want to keep maybe 4 or 5 always in the catalog to add something new. If we're doing different power cars, if we're doing City of Portland, City of Denver, city trains like that, I always want to have something smaller, like little extension sets that people can buy and not have to get that full 8 car set at once. And the heavyweight coaches as well as the 812 and I think the 10-1 sleepers, they're going to be going in soon too. We did add an entire offering of P70s for our East Coast guys in Long Island, along with a rebuilt parlor car. We're waiting to numbers to just get a little higher on those. Like these two, we could have started 2 weeks ago, but I don't want people to miss out because, as you know, with our stuff, we don't run it all that often as we have in the past. I'm trying to change that up a little bit by being able to knock out smaller runs, but still hitting that grand total number for our factories. And as I've told a couple guys, we will be doing, after we get through the coaches and the sleepers, we're going to be announcing head end again. I'm looking at retooling a lot of head end cars just because with our slide tooling, we can get a lot of different car bodies in there and kind of give a really, really robust offering of head end cars in the 80-foot range, along with diners and observations. And let's see where we're at. The REA reefers, those we just got to fit in somewhere. I believe we're going to be running those with the 17-inch Harriman coaches sometime later this year after everything finishes up plastic-wise with the factory. And then the Empire Builder, again, another project where numbers are really good. I think we're going to pair her with possibly the Powhatan and Arrow just towards the end of the year to get both those done, along with the Yampa Valley Mail, which was a really funny story because I announced the Yampa about a year and a half ago when I was just a dealer for Scott and consulting with Scott. And I told him, hey, there's a two-car train we can run with the Prospector. And he was like, go for it. Let's do it. And next thing I know, I saw that Prospector is closed. And I told Scott, I said, well, I got a bunch of Yampa. And he's like, oh, I kind of forgot about that. I was like, yeah, I kind of did too. So we're getting the Yampa finally done. It's actually a really large set for just being a two-car set. I say large as in orders wise. I've gotten 85 orders for this two-car set, which we've been joking where, I mean, he's like, I haven't seen a set that had that kind of orders in years. And I'm like, well, the two cars do really well. So that's where we're at on that. And then moving through these, it's just everything I've already talked about. Oh, and one last thing about the passenger cars is we are doing the 85-foot full domes. Those currently are announced in brass. The factory right now is experimenting to see if we can do them in some sort of hybrid like we do our ACF or Bud domes with the smaller dome on top, where the dome itself is brass and the body is aluminum. And if we can do that, I'll be seeing them when I go back to China on my next trip, late April. But if we can get that done, I can effectively cut the price of those full domes almost in half. So where the brass full dome is $799, I know it's a really hard pill to swallow for one car, but we can hopefully achieve that same level of detail, but with an aluminum body and the brass dome and brass interior as we're doing at $499. So less than $100 more than our standard aluminum cars, $40 more than our little domes. I think if we can do that, I'll say it first on here today. If we can do that, we will be doing the original auto train eventually. It's on the kind of list of ideas, and that's one thing that we have to get past is being able to do these full domes in aluminum with brass detail to get that price down to be able to actually sell a full auto train. And then moving through everything here. Then we'll be getting into rolling stock. And it's been interesting with the rolling stock. I know Scott and I have had long discussions about doing rolling stock. He was never a big fan of it, and pitching these ideas to him in his consulting stage now with me, it was funny, a lot of back and forth. But we're gonna try it and see what happens. And the numbers so far in the catalog, like I said, for the past 2 months have been very, very responsive. And I'm not sure how much this would interest you guys. I know for the younger crowd, people love listening to music, whatever it may be, while they're running trains. And these I'm calling them rail shaking rolling stock. They're the Golden Gate Depot. They're the Skybox flat cars. So it's a 60-foot flat with these big cowlings we have that used to hold aircraft parts. They will actually feature an entire amplifier speaker subwoofer setup that's run like any other Bluetooth connected speaker or like your car. You just go to your little settings and you can have it play whatever you want. I saw when I was out at York last year, went to my friend's house, and the guy is actually making these and shared with me his ideas. Moody Locomotive Works, and he told me how to get them done. So we're working together as a little partnership to get these guys and kind of see what happens with them. And oh yeah, sorry, on these two, they are available without the speaker setup. We have them at 139 right now, and they're available with Lockheed, Boeing, General Dynamics. They're just plain as well, like BNSF, like we see modern, but they're looking really good. And they will be running in the same build time at the factory with our 89-foot and 60-foot flat cars with the Boeing 737-8 fuselage. My idea with this was if we're doing 60 foots, if we're doing 89 foots, let's spice them up somehow. So we're doing the two-car set on these. You get the car with the little half skybox on it. You get the fuselage load, the whole thing. And like I was saying, these numbers, I mean, this is one that is already in the design queue ready to start because people have been really, really responsive. I would say for the fuselage cars, typically for us, two rail usually makes up about 20 to 30% of our reservation numbers. I would say for these fuselage cars, we're actually closer to that 40 to 50% mark. So it's an interesting, just little tidbit of information that I found when I was digging through the numbers to see that kind of where the two rail guys are going, along with like the Alco RSs. The Aces our SD70 Aces are almost neck and neck right now, 40%, 50% really close to. And then moving on from there, I put this offering out. This was a late edition of the catalog. This was like, I mean, 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. This was the week before we announced that we decided we were doing these guys. Got a lot of requests to do 53-foot spine cars from some good two-railer guys I know, a lot of three-rail guys too. And we are fine-tuning this offering. We have a good kind of spread of trailers that we will be including with these, and we're just finalizing them, and we should have the updated offering in the next week or two on the website to include the trailer choices as well. And in addition to the trailers being available for the flat cars, we are going to be selling trailers individually. And we're still working on price at the factory, but my goal for these trailers is to do a 3-pack for under $100. It seems, from what I told, it seems a little bold with what trailers and containers are going for now. But if we can do it, I mean, I would love to get just more of our product in the hands of modelers at a more affordable price. And I think that pretty much wraps it up. Besides HO scale, we announced an HO scale Yampa Valley mail as well too. Bunch of passenger cars in the docket, HO3 cars in the docket. Our HO scale SP Harrimans are finishing up right now, and they should be shipping out soon. And that's pretty much it for the catalog. And I do have one little piece of information I wanted to announce here, but in the upcoming catalog, we confirmed our first standalone passenger car that we're going to be offering. And we're going to do 14 4-sleepers in smooth side variant. So this I'm really excited for because I loved the Texas Special, the Meteors we did. And this also gives us the ability to do the Canadian National Supercontinental Fleet, which I'm always getting requests for more CN, more CP, just not forgetting about our friends up north. So I would say that pretty much concludes everything that I would show. So yeah, David, back to you.
Fantastic. Let's start by reminding us of the email address, the way to get a hold of Sunset and to get a chance to look at these catalogs, and then explain, if you would, how the catalog subscription, I think that was what you're calling it, is going to work and how people can participate in that. And then we'll go to take questions both from the chat, which we'll start with, and then we'll deal with questions from the audience. So
Okay.
start with the email and the catalog arrangements, and we'll take it from there.
Okay. So as of right now, the best way to get a hold of me, I know it's a little confusing because I technically took over Sunset, but we're still running like the third rail Golden Gate Depot sites. And after Scott kind of gets through all of his product, we'll be transitioning those domains over to me to be able to kind of ease the confusion. But as of right now, to find out all this information, you can go to thirdandtownsendmodels.com. And the email address is as simple as CS for customer service. So CS at thirdandtownsendmodels.com. And when you go to the website, something I set up that I love kind of reading through was I have a model suggestion form on the bottom of the homepage where I have a database that ranks certain keywords that tells me what people are requesting, kind of ranks it where the numbers sit. And you can put any model suggestion that you want. And you can put a picture, you can put a link to a picture. It's all right there. And trust me, I read it weekly. I keep up on it. And that's what gears and pushes us to kind of make these offerings that we do in our catalogs. And moving through the catalog to sign up for the catalog, you don't have to pay for it to get the catalog. We have a fully downloadable PDF on the catalog section of our website. But something I did introduce with this new catalog was what I call the catalog club. So it's $60 a year, and you will get two printed catalogs. You will get both the summer catalog and the spring catalog, and then you also get put in the drawing to win an aluminum passenger car of your choice in O scale. And we already had our first winner from the first batch. He was thrilled, and it was a cool little, just kind of fun thing that I can offer you guys for, I mean, being willing to pay for a mailed catalog.
Thank you. Let me look at the chat. And by the way, for those of you who may not be familiar with the chat feature, look down at the bottom of the toolbar on your screen, and you will see somewhere in the center, I don't have it up right now, a little thing called chat, which I think has a cartoon bubble on it, and you can write messages. So we're going to kick off the questions with I'll read the messages that we have there. The first one's an easy one. Haha. How many reservations are required to greenlight a production run?
So it really does vary right now. For reruns, it's a totally different ball game because we're not redoing tooling or anything. So what I tell people without giving away too much information for those, we can be kind of light in the triple digits, nothing too crazy, nothing too high. I can say that the E8, E9 rerun, it shocked both me and Scott and the factory as well, because we somehow broke 680 E8s and E9s in the second run. So
Wow.
it's yeah, those numbers aren't required for a second run. I mean, it was an anomaly. I'm not sure if it's because I announced that we were redoing the tooling on the E8s to offer the slab side with no portholes to give like the proper prototypical Amtrak E8s. I think it was New Jersey Transit 2 had them. Those numbers were they were good, but it was just a very just broad, I mean, everything was, I mean, deep. I mean, 20, 30, 40 reservations per road per unit. So typically, I mean, yeah, it's much smaller on the triple digits. For Steam, Steam is interesting. Like I said, now our Allegheny run, we're only at about 65 units. Typically, the factory was not pleased that we were doing that few, but they're going to be incredible. That's why, I mean, we kept it such a small run. But typically for Steam, like I'll give the mountains for instance. I can give those numbers fine. So we're offering, it's going to be a total of five different mountains in that run. It's going to be the C&O, both Norfolk Westerns, the Rio Grande, and then the one I'm going to be announcing at the March meet. Between those five, I need to hit 150. So you want to say roughly 30 per road, 30 per type. It's I mean, Norfolk Western hit their 30 for both types. C&O's close, Rio Grande is close. I mean, if that says anything, they're good. And even with like the GSs, they're in the triple digits with the Timkins and four aces. That one didn't have to be too high of a number because we have design done for all of those. We're going to be redoing a bit of the design on the GS4 just because from my SP knowledge, I know we lacked a few things when we did these guys back in 2012. So there's some changes I want to see be made there. The GS5 isn't too crazy of a redesign for us for the factory. And the Pacific, same thing. We did them. There's a lot of improvement to be made since we did those guys in '08, and they're still early triple digits. It's New diesels are interesting because the tooling isn't cheap. I mean, it's tooling's a lot. The GP30 tooling, I just sent the wire or the second wire out for. It was a lot the other day. But with those, I'm taking a much different approach than Scott right now, since I'm in the stage of where I want to build and grow and expand. On these newer projects, I'm looking at it more so where not so much, I mean, kind of where the best part, like the best spot we can be in, the spot that we absolutely have to be in to get the project done. That's my metric right now. To get the project done, get everything paid, get everything square. Just to get these new toolings kind of in our arsenal, in our toolbox for when the time comes in 5, 7 years and we do GP30s again, or we do like we did the Chargers and the P42s, that kind of thing, where it was a good project, but the second run I think will be even better than the first.
Yay, we've got a question from Rich Randall, who's a Milwaukee Road modeler, and he says, where are the E9 diesels ordered last year? His is a Milwaukee Road A unit in UP colors. He thought they were built and shipped. Well, what happened to those?
Oh yeah, they're literally in production right now. I'm not sure what the initial kind of information was on him, but it was always understood between Scott and I that for him to round out models coming through his warehouse in California, it was going to be the second run of the SD40-2s that he took delivery of a few weeks ago, the Texas Special Frisco Meteor, and the P42 and Chargers. So the E9s, like I said, are being built right now. They should finish up, I would say, in about a month, maybe 5, 6 weeks, and then they'll be shipping out late March, early April.
Fantastic. Are you going to rerun the SP three-quarter dome cars?
Definitely, yep. I'm gonna give SP a lot of love because I model SP, and I mean that's it. It's as clear as that. I like the SP, and I need them in 2 rail now.
Okay. Any plans to run either EMD or Alco early switchers like the SW or S2-S4 Alcos?
Not at the moment. You're not the first person that's asked me that. I mean, it might happen, it might not. Just I'll remember that you asked and kind of see where it goes. I mean, I'm looking at like the smaller diesel scape right now. The RSs are going to be a very large indicator to us if there is something in the world of four-axle diesels, early four-axle diesels moving forward.
Any chance of a Central to Georgia, I think 484 utilizing the GS4 frame? They shared characteristics and would go with the Nancy Hanks nicely.
Yep. So kind of like how I announced these past two series. Well, I'll say like the mountain series was kind of the kickoff to our series runs. So we are planning to do other steam locomotive wheel types. The COG is on the list of the next run of Northerns that we're debating on. And like I say, with everything, just give us some time to get us through these first so we can get on more steam engines and then back to Northerns in maybe 2, 3, 4 years.
Thinking about any Baldwin diesels, don't see any in the lineup.
We are. Um, it was a very close tie between the Baldwins and the Alcos in this announcement. So just stay tuned on that.
How about a USRA Mountain?
We're thinking about that in the next mountain run. I am kind of experimenting with if there's a way to incorporate hybrids into our lineup to where we could do something like a USRA Mountain with a die-cast frame. We have brass boiler, brass tender, but just to kind of get that price down. Because my biggest feedback from everybody is the price on the brass.
Can you import the Canadian road name product directly to Canada for Canadian customers from China without going through the US to avoid the surprise tariff of the day?
Nothing we can do on that. Everything's got to come through here.
How is the BQ23-7? I think that's a GE numbers doing.
They're great. Those guys, I mean, they're probably 40 or so. I mean, that one variant had a super strong offering. And I mean, the Dash 7s, they're good. I just have to kind of, sorry, the dog I think's acting up, but I just have to push that project a little more.
All right. How often do you travel to China?
So I've been to China twice so far. Um, I'm planning to go quarterly. Right now, it's a little muddied. I was supposed to go early April, but my fiance and I planned our wedding for mid-April, so had to push back our China trip to May, but it's going to be quarterly.
And if anyone notices errors in the preliminary design models, how to whom and how should people submit proposed corrections?
Just email us to the email I put. I can also give the phone number to our main office too, and you can call that and your message would get to me. I'll give that a sec. So yeah, if you have any questions, comments on models or anything, you can feel free to call 720-786-3602.
There's a suggestion that it would be helpful if the phases could be specified for the diesels selected for production.
Yep. So I've really changed up how we were taking reservations before. This new catalog was the first time around where I am giving everybody the choice between 3 to 5 different road numbers per locomotive, and each road name will have its own web page now. So if there's a phase that isn't hit in that, let me know. I can put it up and we can see if it'll hit. But it's much more, I mean, I would say much more model friendly now, where you can pick your road number, you know exactly what you're getting. If we made a mistake on the road number, you tell me, we correct it, that kind of thing before we get to the point of doing the matrices and working with painted lettering.
Okay. We've gotten up to date on the chat questions, and what I'd like to do now is to see whether there are questions from the audience. And rather than have everybody speak at once, what I'd like you to do is either using the toolbar to put up a hand, or simply raise your hand so I can see it, and I will call on people one at a time. So anybody have questions for Jay? You may have answered all the questions. You were so thorough. Carl Sorensen, you need to unmute yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, Jay. Not knowing that there was going to be E units out in my lifetime, I bought an E8 and I'm modifying it to a UP-E9 like the one behind me. But there's some parts that you guys did for the previous units. Will we be able to get those extra parts like the ice shields and stuff like that?
Yep. So I'm currently working with, expanding the website to where we can offer all the additional parts like Scott was kind of divvying up when people would need them. I'm actually planning to build, if we would typically do 2% spare parts across the board. I'm looking at doing about 5 so we can stock them and get something done with them. I'm working with get3railparts.com as well. Pat Norcross created that website. He took all of Scott's old parts, going back 30 years. So we're working together, and I might either shuffle the parts to him or have him here with me at the warehouse. I haven't decided what the best course of action is on that, but I do know that there, like people like you, Carl, or a lot of people want extra parts from these runs.
Terrific. I'm not seeing further questions. Oh, I see. Daryl Blake.
First, thanks for what you're doing for OScale.
I'm having some trouble with the audio. If you could speak particularly.
Sorry, I'll get off my headphones.
Nope.
Daryl, I'm having problems.
Sorry, won't be a sec.
There you go.
My phone's playing up. I'm on my phone. So. Can you hear me okay now?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. First, thanks, Jay, for what you're doing, particularly in the diesel part of O-Scale. It's fantastic, phenomenal. Just regarding the FP45, is the parts there, or is it possible that the F45 is also in the future, given the similarities?
It is in the future. Design-wise for us, the similarities were there, but they were just too different.
Yeah.
Plus, we have to go off frame length. That makes it easy where we can incorporate multiple different units in that run. We're looking and seeing what we can run with an F45, even if it's not a Cal unit. But it's high up on our diesel docket right now.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Other questions for Jay?
Tyler
Cook. Tyler?
Yeah, so kind of circling back to the numbers for production, something I you're touched on. How many of a certain paint scheme has to be allotted for to do a production of that specific paint scheme within a
About 15.
Okay.
15 is the absolute bare bones, like to do that scheme to keep the factory happy. When it comes to like specific variants, like the hammerheads that we're doing for the RSs, those guys are requiring 50 because it's a tooling change,
Okay.
but it's about 15 roughly. And there is more wiggle room on second runs, of course, because the tooling's paid for and it's a little better, but typically about 15 to 20, depending on the project.
Tony Elliott, you have your hand up.
Hello, Jay. Is there any chance of a rerun of the Rio Grande L131, the 2882s?
There is. We're after the Allegheny, we are planning to announce another articulated. The L131 32s are very high up on that list right now, but we don't know if they're going to get beat out by another series of articulateds.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Thanks. Second question. I have some models on order which I went through the Sunset website. I'm assuming you'll just copy that forward onto Third and Townsend. I don't have to reorder.
Nope, there's a couple projects that we haven't gotten through completely. Those being the Jeep 30s need to be fully transferred. The UP Heritage project needs to be fully transferred. And I believe the FM Erie builds. And that should be about it.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much.
All right. Any further questions? Jay has given us a very thorough presentation. I'm reading Jim Cantor's mind, and I know that he wants to ask if you're going to do RS3s in nickel plate.
I'll have to talk to Jim Cantor at the March meet because it was his idea for us to do the aces. So he's full of very good ideas.
He has a lot of ideas. That is certainly true. Anything else for Jay? This is really talk about some inside baseball. Sarah Griesenbach.
Hello, hi. Jay, I have to say that I'm totally impressed by by your energy and how you rush into this, and I am seeing a bright future for the hobby, and I want to say thank you. That's really great. And especially that you are offering, I just checked out your website and you're offering some diesels in Pro to 48. That's really top notch. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's all what I want to say because I'm totally speechless.
No, thank you. I mean, I see all your work always in the Facebook groups. Like it's what you do is awesome too. Like I could never imagine. I mean, the amount of detail. I mean, it's awesome what you do. But yeah, getting into Proto 48, there's people have been asking for it, and it seems like there's a demand. The numbers aren't super strong right now, but thankfully it's not too much of a change for us with manufacturing to get it done. So we're going to kind of see where it goes from there.
Great,
See
thank
if there
you.
is a future in Proto 48 on the more mass produced market.
Thank you. Well, we have done over 40 of these programs, over 3.5 years worth of programming, and always during that time we were able to get Scott Mann on the program, and invariably he gave us useful insights, was really candid, was really thorough, and was, I think, probably the most consistently informative guest that we had on the program. And I am delighted to see Jay bring that same approach, both in terms of thoroughness and in terms of candor, to us. And I think we all owe Jay not only a congratulatory note, but we all need to commit to support his projects. The task of producing these models is enormous. The old joke is you can make a small fortune in the model railroad business, but you have to start with a large fortune in order to do it. And we hope that that's not going to be the case for Jay, and we'll have him back as this develops. But in the meantime, if people want to reserve a model right now, Jay, tell us how they do it.
Yep, head over to thirdandtownsendmodels.com and everything is there. I've broken everything up to Steam, Diesel, there's subcategories. I mean, it's a bit to navigate through because it's not as kind of just all out there at once how it used to be on Third Rail with just the big grid. It takes some digging, takes some time, have some fun, but I mean, I don't know, it's cool.
Great. Thank you very much. That concludes this segment of the program. We've got a couple more things that we need to do. First of all, one of the things we're always looking at in O-Scale 2-Rail is new projects. And one of the truly creative craftsmen of the new 3D printed part of the hobby has been Sarah Griesenbach. And one of the things that Sarah has been doing, and this is my own particular fetish, is to follow her nickel plate road stock cars, which she has designed in 3D, and which I'm going to be taking the first 20 to Chicago to sell for Sarah and for Jim King. But Sarah, if you could tell us a little bit about this project and tell us a little bit more if you've got any other projects in the wings.
Oh, I'm not really prepared. But of course, thank you very much for giving me the chance because somehow Jim found me and he talked to me how about doing a joint venture and I said yes. What can we do? And well, we have a couple of cars coming up, and we are going to release a 1937 modified AAR car. This should have been our first car to publish and to make available in kit form, but then David Vaughan intervened and said, "Well, there was a stock car project, and so we because of the upcoming March meet and the opportunity that you gave us to bring some models in person, we decided that we are going to do that car at first. This is going to be our first release." And it is a little bit of a pressure. We have been working on this, and Jim is working on this very under pressure because it has to be ready and to go and to be shipped. But I'm pretty sure you will really like them because they're going to be great. And there will be one version with a double deck, and the other version is going to be single deck. And yeah, and my part is finished. I did everything. I'm just building the pilot model of the single deck car because the double deck car has already been done. And we have very good decals for the cars also. They are going to be printed right now, and yeah, with a little luck, everything will be just fine. So yeah.
This is a great partnership between Sarah and Jim King of Smoky Mountain Model Works. I did the Cementipede special project with Jim King, and he did a spectacular job on the design and printing. And one of the things that we need to be looking at going forward is improving the strength and flexibility of component parts of 3D printed models. That has been a problem. And Jim is doing some great work to improve those aspects of the model printing and then eventually assembly. And so this is the first project that's going to include these secret resins that he has. And I'm very much looking forward to this project, not only as a nickel plate modeler, but as a fan of 3D printed projects, which I think is really going to revolutionize O-scale because it effectively eliminates tooling cost, minimum runs, and inventory. So Sarah's design and Jim's production is going to make a great model. I will be taking them to Chicago. I'm at tables A3 through 5 and would be delighted to show the models to you and sell them to you if you're interested. All right. We have always kept the end of the program open for what I euphemistically call good and welfare, which means that if anybody's got announcements they want to make, questions they want to ask, any contributions that you want to put in front of everybody, we have the opportunity to do that. I do want to flag for you the fact that next month's program will be held on Sunday, March 15th, right before the Chicago program at 4 p.m. Eastern. We are going to have a presentation about Terry Terrence's videos and show some parts of those if you want to get a head start. They're great videos. If you're not familiar with them, go on YouTube and get familiar. Ryan Scheuer, who has done a lot of good work on behalf of O-Scale Central and O-Scale 2-Rail in general, is going to coordinate that presentation. And we will have a couple of other program segments too. I promise you they will be interesting, hopefully interesting as usual. So this concludes the formal part of the program. I want to plug one other thing. I always do this. Right now is dues season for O-Scale Central. If you have not joined, please go on the website, oscalecentral.com, and sign up. We think we're doing good work and deserve your support. And if you share that, please chip in to pay for our programs. And I would ask for all of these, including the models that Jay is promising us, the people who were putting on the programs at O-Scale West and the Chicago group. We need to support the people who are doing work on our behalf. If you don't attend the programs, if you don't buy the models, they're not going to be here. Nobody can do it without the sales and support that we need. So we have some real good products. We have some real good opportunities. Thank you very much for your formal part. We are adjourned, but we'll leave the program open for announcements, for questions, either across the audience or directed to somebody in particular. And I don't think I said this. If I did, I'll say it again. We're the modelers scale. And when you go to Chicago, as you should, bring a model, put it in the contest. When you go to an RPM meet and see all those itty bitty models that other guys in the small scales do, bring your own O-Scale models. You blow them away when you do that. All right. Anybody else? Anybody got any comments, questions? Good and welfare.
Question for Sarah.
Say again?
Said I have a question for Sarah. She was you were showing on Facebook your city buses, and I'm just wondering are they going to be released to somebody or the download from somewhere? Or it looks great.
Thank you. That's I have been designing so much stuff recently, so I have really a lot of things that I want to make available. But on the other hand, well, I have, as you know, I have a website, trainedkitchen.com, where I am giving my designs, many of my designs for free. But everything costs a little bit of money, also hosting a website and everything. Also, the program that I use, I have to pay a yearly fee. And so I have to be a little bit more oriented on getting my costs paid for. So what I'm going to do is to find a partner and to release a kit because that gives me back some money and still the part can be available and printing a very delicate, or how to say, complex models like full cars. I mean, the bus is smaller than a box car, of course, but it's still big, and it is very difficult to do that at home. I mean, there are people who can print really, really good, like Dan Dawdy does a lot of printing, for example, and others. But it is like a car body is really difficult to print, and so I think with the bigger stuff I will go the route to produce kits. And I have been I am not going to take all your time away, don't worry, but I have been working together with 3D Central, and yeah, that didn't work out because they are just too busy, and I cannot communicate with them in a way that I wanted. So I need somebody more flexible, somebody more focused, and now I found Jim, and Jim King of Smoky Mountain Model Works is a workhorse. That's what I can tell you, and I hope that we can pump out more interesting models in the future.
Thank you, Sarah. Sarah, your website again?
Trainkitchen.com.
Everything spelled the normal
Yes,
American spelling, TRAINKITCHEN.com. If you haven't
exactly.
seen
Yes.
it, just go there and browse around. She's got some great projects.
Mm.
Anybody else? Questions, comments? Otherwise, thank you very much for your participation. We hope you get good out of it. If you missed it, part of it, if you know somebody else that should see it, if you want to see it again, it will be posted on YouTube. It'll probably take a couple of weeks to do. Access it if you would through the website, because that'll give you an excuse to go and nose around. I had one other question, and that is, wasn't there going to be a presentation on passenger car lighting? And the answer is yes, there was going to be. We kicked that can down the road. Nick Bulgarino will be handling that, but we wanted to make sure we had plenty of time for Jay and the new catalog of O-scale two-rail projects that he's working on, which is really exciting. All right, thanks a lot. Be safe out there. The weather is bad in most places and worse in others. So do it. And again, Jay, thank you very much for your time. And
Of course, it was fun being here.
we will be talking. And we'll see everybody in Chicago. Don't miss it. Bye-bye.